All right, dinner on a dime. Good afternoon. I am Misty and I'm here to record another video for you today. If you have not already done so, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and excuse me while I wipe my eyes because all of a sudden they decided to be itchy right as I went to record a video for you. Okay, so make sure to like the video. Those things really are helping out the channel, and so I would greatly appreciate it. Plus I do try to respond to all of your comments and suggestions and things on the page, so I do greatly appreciate when you interact with me, so that is always fun. All right, so today we are going to discuss 10 reasons that you can't afford groceries anymore. Okay, now a lot of people will say this comes down to two things: shrinkflation of package sizes and inflation of grocery costs. Yeah, for sure. But there are things that we are doing to ourselves that are causing our grocery bill to be higher than we can afford. And so we're going to talk about those today, and maybe a little bit of a way that you can conquer some of those things as you're shopping. Okay, so let's just get started. All right, so number one, biggest thing that you are doing that is making it where you cannot afford groceries anymore, sorry, I'm having trouble with the lighting here on this one, is ignoring your sales ads or not knowing how to shop them. Okay, so what do I mean by this? The biggest, easiest opportunity, you have money. Yeah, if you have money, that's your biggest opportunity right there. The biggest opportunity you are missing to save money is not checking the sales ads before you go to the store. So you need to know what's on sale. You need to know how many of them you can buy. And you need to know if that works in your budget and if it's actually a good deal or not. So when I look at the grocery ads every week, I don't just immediately look at like my Kroger ad and say, oh, well, it's in the Kroger ad, it's definitely the best deal. Not the case, okay? You got to do your research, figure out if it really is the best deal, because just because it's in the ad does not mean it's a good deal, okay? The loss leaders are, but outside of those, you really do have to be checking or you will overpay, okay? Also, you need to make sure that what you are buying are elements that you can build into meals. It doesn't do any good to save a bunch of money on random ingredients if you don't know that there's something that you can utilize in your kitchen on the day in, day out, and that you can easily make and build meals with, okay? So you do have to be mindful that what you're buying is actually something that you can and will use on a day-to-day basis in your own kitchen, right? Because if you're not checking the prices to make sure you're knowing you're getting the best price, you're going to overpay. And then if you're buying things and they're things that you can't really use or you don't know how to use, then you're just overstocking on a bunch of, as I'm going to say, crap that's going to sit there forever and you're still not going to know how to use it. Okay, number two, letting coupons drive your purchases. Okay, we are not in an era of extreme couponing anymore. We are in an era of shopping smarter, smart shopping, okay? So coupons are still offered through a lot of stores. You don't find as many like paper coupons anymore, or writing companies and them sending you coupons anymore. That sort of stuff seems like the time for that stuff is done, right? But what I will say is digital coupons are still a very big thing. Rebate apps that offer coupons are still a very big thing. But those coupons promote purchasing of a lot of processed items, a lot of name brand items, and a lot of unnecessary items in the kitchen. So the key here is only use that coupon if you had already planned to buy that item. Okay, if you don't normally buy that item, then just because there's a coupon for it doesn't mean it's time to start purchasing it now. And a lot of people fall victim to that mentality still. That's still an extreme couponer TLC show mentality, right? If I have a coupon for it, I have to buy it. Okay, there's other shows where they go into people's homes that still shop that way, and they have a lot of items that they don't ever use, and they have spent a large portion of their available budget, or they've put a lot of debt onto credit cards because they are still shopping that way. Okay, so shop smarter. Don't buy things just because there's a coupon out there. Okay, number three, buying the same items or brands that you've always bought simply by habit. Okay, a lot of people do this. I've always bought Del Monte vegetables. I'm only ever going to buy Del Monte vegetables. I've always bought milk at Brahms. I'm only going to buy my milk at Brahms. I only buy Mrs. Baird's bread, and that's the only bread I'm ever going to buy. Okay, prices change on those items over time, okay, as well as package sizes change over time, right? We're seeing a lot of that. So your usual go-to items may no longer be the best value, okay? It just simply, in this day and age, that's how it is. It does not pay to be brand loyal to items, okay? So review your purchases every few months. Explore if there were better options available. And one of my key tips on this one would be, if it is anything that is going into a recipe that is not the star ingredient, if it is background players, key players that are all melding together to bring together flavor, and I'm talking about things like your pasta, your rice, your canned tomatoes, your broth, all of those sort of things, your bouillon cubes, it doesn't matter what brand you get, okay? It's all going to meld together. It's all going to taste amazing. You do not need to be brand loyal anymore, okay? So we've got to get away from, well, I've always bought Swanson broth. Okay, well, you're not buying Swanson broth anymore because it's more expensive than Kroger broth. You're buying Kroger broth now, or you're making your own broth now. Okay, number 4. Buying as you cook, not cooking what you buy. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Buying as you cook. So each week I go buy things. That's what I cook for the week. Ta-da, I'm done. Success. Okay, how about we swap and we cook what we buy? So now we go out each week and we buy what is the best deal. And we bring that home and we stock our shelves with it. And then we cook with that. That becomes our grocery store. The grocery store becomes where we go, that we only spend a limited amount of money and we only bring home the absolute bargain deals, the best deals. We build our own smaller version of a grocery store. That's what your pantry, your fridge, and your freezer is. It's your version of a grocery store. And then you shop that. So now we cook with what we buy, okay? So we bought it at a good deal. We're going to cook with it later. So if you just go to the store and you buy specific ingredients, this is going to force you to pay a higher price, because if it's not on sale that week and you need it, you're going to have to pay full price for it. Now, instead of doing that, it allows us to buy what is cheaper, and then we can build meals off of what we have because we paid a lower cost for it, and now we are utilizing it down the road. It is keeping our meals less expensive. And remember, we're not here for expensive recipes. We are here for, we bought the best deals at the grocery store. Now we're going to cook from them at home. Okay, so ingredient-based cooking in your house. Okay, number 5, let's address shrinkflation. Shrinkflation is absolutely real. It is absolutely a thing where you are paying the same price, but you are getting less product. And sometimes you're even paying a higher price and you're still getting less product, okay? So what do? We monitor the unit prices, okay? So it doesn't matter if the size of the stick changed. It doesn't matter if the price changed. We're looking for the unit price. Which one gives us the best deal on the unit price over time? And then do not remain brand loyal. If you've noticed shrinkflation in your brand and there is still another brand that is offering a better price, a better deal, guess what? When that price shrinks and it's no longer my best unit cost, I am going to the competitor. Sorry, see ya. An example of this would be like deodorant, right? There are companies that have lowered their stick size dramatically on deodorant, and so the unit cost of that deodorant becomes much higher than its competitors. So guess what? We're going to try some competitor deodorant, and we're going to see how it works because we're not going to pay that higher price. All right, number 6, buying pre-made meals versus ingredients. So buying a pre-made meal will on average cost you 3 times more than if you had cooked that same meal at home. So what do? You buy raw ingredients, okay? Because we're an ingredient-based house, right? An ingredient-based. We're kitchen. We're a grocery store in our home, right? So then we pull the raw ingredients that we need. We batch cook them, and we then freeze those meals for later. And so by doing that, by batch cooking like 3-4 lasagnas, okay, and prepping them, make sure that they're in good containers for freezing and all that good stuff, then we have cut the cost of making those lasagnas. We've used our lowest price ingredients to build those lasagnas, and now when we need a lasagna to pull out and stick in the freezer, we've already got it prepped and ready at home. It's going to be more delicious than a store-bought. It's going to cost you less than a store-bought, and it gives you that sense of fulfillment that you did that. You made that, and you rescued your budget one night by utilizing it instead of going and having takeout. Okay, number 7, shopping the wrong sections of the store. Okay, not every area of the store is a good place to be shopping. The inner aisles are going to be more of your processed and pre-packaged foods. Guess what? Processed and pre-packaged come at a premium. Okay, premium cost. You're going to pay more for those items than you would if you stuck to more of the perimeter of the store. So the best thing to do is shop your outer perimeter of your store. So things like fresh meat, fresh produce, your dairy, your frozen foods, because they also offer fewer temptation choices, right? Now, obviously, if you have to walk by the bakery, you're going to have some temptation right there. But there's fewer temptations by perimeter store shopping than there is by walking the aisles. Now, obviously, there are things you need on the aisles, like canned goods, canned soups and broths. Bread is sometimes stuck in the middle of the store. There's different things you're going to need, but learn your path of, you could call it least resistance or most resistance, okay? The path of least resistance, like the quickest path to get through the areas you need. But I say the path of most resistance, where I know exactly what aisles I'm going to walk down and exactly what aisles I'm going to refuse to walk down, because I know where my greatest temptation points are. So I'm going to make sure that I avoid those areas. I'm going to resist the temptation to enter those areas if I don't need to. All right, number 8, not tracking your grocery spending. This one is going to kill you every single time, because you may think you're doing really, really well, and in hindsight, you notice some patterns, some leaks, some reoccurring spending that doesn't need to happen. And so if you'll track your spending over time and track your purchases over time, you'll begin to understand what habits you need to adjust and how to maximize your savings. And I would say routinely track and monitor that spending and adjust as needed. Don't just try to do that once at the end of the month, because by then it's too late to really do anything with it. So maybe do a mid-month check-in with yourself, do a weekly check-in with yourself. Okay, how did I do? What can I adjust? What can I do differently? Okay, number 9, not buying ahead of price hikes. Okay, but how do I know a price hike's coming? There are key indicators. I mean, you hear on the news that the price of beef is going to go up. You hear, and I'm not talking about YouTube videos that tell you like, oh, 10 things you have to stock up on now. They will no longer be available next month. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the actual news, talking about the decreased cattle availability and the increase in cost that's coming, or a chicken, the bird virus, that they're going to have to cull a bunch of chickens. There are things like that you can kind of get ahead of the curve sometimes, but inflation can hit items very unpredictably, and we are dealing with a lot of grocery store inflation right now. So what can we do? We can stock up on ingredients. Remember, we are looking for basic ingredients, whether that is meats that we can turn into meals and we can stick them in the freezer, whether it is the ingredients we need that are inside of our fridge, like cheese, butter, eggs, milk. We are looking for basic ingredients to stock up our pantries with, like different canned goods, bouillon cubes, rice, dry beans, different things like that. So we want to buy them at the right time in order to buy them before prices hike. Prices hike unpredictably. So how do we get ahead of this? We get ahead of it because we know our price points, right? Because we're routinely shopping for those items. We're looking for them when they're loss leaders, et cetera, et cetera. So we can start to notice when the prices start to uptick, right? Because we can see, okay, well, my price point for ground beef's always been 99 cents a pound. I'm having a real hard time finding it under $2.99. Okay, I'm having a real hard time finding it under $3.99. Okay, I'm having a real hard time finding it under $6.99. we start to see that. So then we start to adjust our price point accordingly. So maybe 99 cents is no longer a thing. I have seen it once this year, once after a holiday, that I could get it for 99 cents, and I did. But right now, $2.99. Okay, if I find it for $2.99, I'm going to stock up on ground beef. If I find it with half price stickers, even, so say it's $7 a pound and I find it with a half price sticker, I'm going to go ahead and stock up on that, because that's kind of become the new price point. But you don't know what that new price point is if you haven't put any thought and effort into tracking and monitoring those prices over time. And then what happens is you run out of ground beef in your freezer because you didn't buy it at those lower price points. And now look, now you're buying the $7.99 a pound ground beef or the $10.99 a pound ground beef in order to have it to feed to your family on a week-to-week basis. So that's why it's important that we are monitoring our key ingredient prices and we're buying it as we start to notice that uptick. Okay, let's get in here. Let's buy it here, because I don't want to buy it when it gets up here, because I'm noticing it's trending, right? I'm noticing it's trending. Okay, number 10, not comparing your items with an online source before you're ordering, okay? So don't forget about things like, if you have Amazon Prime, don't forget to go price your items at Amazon as well. So like right now, for example, if I was to go to my Kroger and buy tomato paste, even on sale, not really a good deal. Well, I found out the other day on Amazon that tomato paste was on sale for a really good price, especially compared to my local store. So what it does is some items are cheaper online. So I could order that item online instead of ordering it at my local store. Some other things is sometimes an online source like Amazon will offer different promotions. So they may offer, like, if you buy 4 or more of our items, we save you an additional 10%, or you can subscribe and save and have it delivered every so often and you save an additional 15%. Just price checking allows you to know the digital price, and it allows you to decide, do you want to purchase it in store or do you want to go ahead and order it online? Now, I know some people don't like supporting certain stores. Okay, I know some people don't like supporting Walmart. I hear you loud and clear that you don't want to shop at Walmart. Then don't shop there. Okay, some people, that's the only choice they have. There are people that don't want to support Amazon. Okay, Amazon's got enough money. They don't need the money from grocery purchases. Okay, I get it. I do. But not everyone has the luxury of getting to decide to spend more somewhere else. Some people need to save as much money as possible on groceries in order to support their families in other areas. So I am here offering a solution of, if you have Amazon Prime, check your prices, because it may be cheaper for you to have it delivered from Amazon than it is to shop at your local grocery store. So if you don't want to support those places, feel free not to. But please don't leave hateful comments here directed towards me or directed towards the audience for supporting those businesses, okay? Some people don't have the choice or the luxury that you may have in your life. We all get to choose where we spend our money. We all get to support what we support and we don't, as far as stores and choices go, okay? But some people don't have the luxury in life to be able to do that. So we're not going to be ugly. We're not going to be hateful. We're not going to leave tacky comments, okay? That's the big tip on number 10 is you get to decide, okay? You do get to decide if you want to save the money and support a business or not, okay? Now, I would love in 2026, late 2025, early 2026, if everyone watching had the funds available to buy local meat, eggs, dairy from farmers, that they could go to a local baker for bread, that they could go to a local cheese and butter maker for those things. I wish, right? And so if you have the funds available and you have places that you can go do that, great. But please do not rain on people's parades that are just trying to do the best they can do. And guess what? The only store they have within 60 miles is Walmart, or the only place they have that can deliver is Amazon. Okay? We're not going to rain on each other here. We're going to lift each other up. We're going to offer a sunny day. We're going to offer solutions. We're not going to be rude, hateful, snarky, sarcastic. Okay? All right. So there you go, guys. That's 10 things that might be reasons why you are not being able to afford your groceries anymore. and hopefully some things you can do to kind of help conquer those things. The biggest tip I could give you, is just keep a positive mental state about it, okay? Make some changes, do what you can, little by little, keep building healthy habits, and over time it's going to get easier. But if all you do is sit around and complain and doom and gloom it and talk down about everything, and you're not making any changes to make it any better, it's going to continue to be hard, okay? And you can do hard things, but hard things take a lot more effort than making the changes and doing it easier, okay? So I hope you found something useful in this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.